My name is Graeme Barker. I'm a professor of archaeology at Cambridge. I'm a fellow of St John's College, in fact, was where I originally did my undergraduate studies in archaeology, set me on my path, and I'm director of studies for archaeology at Corpus. People often think archaeology is a sort of jolly, cosy subject. But you only have to think for a minute that how politicised is the past. You just think of the Ukraine-Russian conflicts at the moment, and the past is hardly ever neutral. So there are a lot of big issues that archaeologists study to do with the past identities, with things like agricultural resilience. There are a lot of issues to do with today that are actually rooted in the past. So why study archaeology? I'd say it is about understanding a past. It's understanding a past and its relevance to today. It's hugely attractive, and it's why I changed to archaeology from classics. It combines the arts and the sciences. And I've always said, if people say, is archaeology an arts or a science, the answer is yes. And that really means, therefore, there is a place for those of us who are much more on the humanities side, those of us who are on the science side, hard science side, and those of us who are in the middle. And the majority of students who come to do archaeology at university are very uncertain about where they sit in that and how they see the subject. Why studies at Cambridge? Well, the first thing is it's an enormously wide range here, unusually so. And we always define archaeology as the study of the past through material culture, although that now shades into all the biological things like ancient DNA at one end. Archaeology at Cambridge actually is a set of disciplines. So at the centre is archaeology as we understand it, that study of the past, all periods of the past, all parts of the world, all questions through the material remains left by past societies. We can also at Cambridge, you can study the ancient languages of Mesopotamia and Egypt, the first civilization. So Egyptology and Assyriology are also part of the package at Cambridge, and that's unusual. And that the moving across into the science side is biological anthropology. Biological anthropology is the study of the human species through, in particular, the biological remains, the bones. And that means it's a subject that shades from the very origins of human evolution, of our species and other species, all the way through into questions of health and disease of modern societies. So it's an enormously wide church. And given that, the way the degree is structured is so that you can come here and you can look at those ranges. There are 4 main papers in the first year, and they can set you on courses that you can have a tasting of Egyptology, have a tasting of biological anthropology, and then you've got tracks as you gradually develop interests and specialisms into much more through the core archaeology, much more into the languages, much more into the biological anthropology. So it's a degree that's deliberately designed for people who are coming to Cambridge with, most of the applicants have a very wide range of A-levels. There isn't an A-level in archaeology, so there's no right combination to study. And then it's very much trying to help students to develop their interests. And for me, it was always that combination of important ideas about the past, but also seen through work in the classroom, in the laboratory, in the field. And I've always enjoyed that combination, and it turned me on when I was an undergraduate, went on my very first excavation in Italy, all the way through now to digging up Neanderthals in a cave in Iraq. Why Corpus? Corpus has got a long tradition of archaeology. It's got a long tradition of involvement in the deep past, where I've ended up now, but it's also nurtured an awful lot of archaeologists who work in all of those different periods, and those people into languages, and those people into biological anthropology. And I think it's interesting for me, coming from St John's, which is a very large college, and I was an undergraduate here, And Corpus is a smaller college. It's much more intimate. And I've always hugely admired how the college operates. And I've often reflected how my experience would have differed as an undergraduate in Corpus compared to being an undergraduate in St John's. Neither better nor worse, but very different. And I think the way the course operates, how the students are embedded with other students, so the students are completely embedded in the archaeological community here, but they're also embedded in the community of the college in a way that is very, very different from the kind of student life in a much larger college like St John's.